Darfur states due to escalating insecurity and ongoing armed clashes across the country. In a statement, the UN agency has said that its field teams estimated that 230 people fled from the Al-Mazroub area in North Kordofan last Thursday as a result of deteriorating security conditions. The IOM has said that 1,500 more people were displaced from the Abu Ghamra area in North Darfur and moved to several locations in the Kornoi area in the state, where the situation remains highly tense and unstable. Now for this discussion, we are joined by Michael Atit. He's a journalist, joins us live from South Sudan. Thank you very much, Michael, for joining us. Welcome to NewsX World. Michael, what more can you tell us about this escalating violence in North Kordofan and Darfur? And what do you think, what does this reveal about the current balance of power between the Sudanese army and the RSF?
Thank you so much for having me. The report of the UN, even though it is the UN agency, but it could not reflect the exact number of the situation on the ground. It is very well known that the more than 2 years now fighting between the Sudanese military and the paramilitary rapid support forces has left the central Sudan, including the capital Khartoum. It is now focusing much westward towards the northern Kordofan and going to Darfur. And it is, to many, it is not a surprise because the focus of the war is currently in that region, and especially in the Kordofan, because the paramilitary is also trying to push eastward, coming towards Kordofan. Meanwhile, the military is trying to push westward. So the Kordofan now becomes the central ground for new battle between the two warring parties. And many civilians have already fled those areas into the neighboring countries, including southward to South Sudan, or in the west towards the Chad and the Central African Republic. So the new displacement is not surprise to many, but it could also be a huge increase on the humanitarian crisis, increasing already to the devastating situation in Sudan as well. So the warring parties has a lot to do still in that area, as they each and one of them is claiming to hold more territory and more ground on the battle.
And you know, these local leaders or tribal chiefs also hold a huge significance in those areas and for the people there. So how might these death of local leaders and tribal chiefs increase the risk of long-term instability in these regions?
Yes, significantly. Previously, local leaders used to have a strong say in some of the political decision or some of the communal decisions in Sudan, especially in those regions of Kordofan and Darfur as well. But in recent days, some of these leaders have been manipulated. They've been politically, manipulated into different groups. If we can see recently the leaders that have been manipulated, and they have diverted their support, diverted their communal efforts and all, either to loyal to the military or to loyal to the RSF. Meanwhile, so they still have a strong say in those communities. But as I said, some of them have already been manipulated. So any kind of decision that comes out from them at the moment, it will be regarded by many communities as a political statement, as a political segment, because they want to be loyal. They want to be seen loyal with their all tribes, their all community. They are loyal to the government or to the military or to the rapid support forces. So in many cases, some of them at the moment have not even have any influence because they don't want to see being loyal to either of the warring parties. So some of them remain muted, some of them remain silent due to the situation of the nature of the conflict in their area.
Thank you so much, Michael, for clarifying that. And lastly, with over 14 million people displaced and many people dead, what can international actors do differently to help end this conflict?
Okay, the major effort lays between the two warring parties. I mean, the two warring parties are Sudanese, and they are fighting in Sudan, and most of the civilians who are paying the price, who are displaced, who are killed, who are striving, they are Sudanese. So instead of waiting for international community to come and resolve a Sudanese problem, the major part lays between the hands of the two warring parties. Of course, diplomatically, the international community has to step in, the African Union has to step in, or the East African bloc like IGAD also has to say, or the Arab League, for example, they might have some say in between the two warring parties. But at the end of the day, the two warring parties are the major decision makers of when this war can stop. But at this crucial time, as the number of civilians or displaced civilians increase, a number of them are also striving in areas such as in North Darfur, in Al-Fashir. The international community has a lot to provide, like humanitarian assistance to the civilians, to plead with the warring parties to give a safe corridor for them, maybe to cross into Chad or to cross into the neighboring towns that are at least safe for them. As long as they remain in Al-Fashir, as long as they remain under shield, under a lot of bombardment between the warring parties, that is going to give a lot of casualties that wouldn't even be good for Sudanese or for the international community. So the international community at this moment, they can still have a say, they can still control some of the ammunition that are being imported in